I work at AFTV. It's now time for the player ratings. I've got Robbie and Lee with me. The rain actually, I think, is finally...
Look at my top, man. It's
I'm drenched.
Absolutely soaking wet, man. Manchester.
Manchester,
lovely place, man.
You always know it rains in Manchester, you know. Get yourself under a roof. Yeah. Unfortunately, you didn't, Brian didn't, and this is what happens, like, you know.
we was under a roof, but it was leaking. I'll tell you that. Right, let's go.
That was shocking.
Let's go straight into it. Let's start with our keeper today, who you always say didn't have much to do today, but David Raya, Robbie.
Didn't have much to do, but he had to come and claim balls and that under pressure. Did it really, really well. Played out from the back well. There was one little mistake he made one time. I thought he had a solid game today, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, sometimes when you're under pressure, he's kind of a calming influence in a way. So, 7.
Agree with that?
Oh, yes, I think I might have even gone a little bit higher, but like 7. I
clean
thought,
sheet?
Yeah, clean sheet.
Golden Glove winner as well.
Clean sheet at Old Trafford. I felt comfortable every time the cross come in. He claimed everything. I felt on the floor. He looked really composed and all that. I thought, you know, another clean sheet for him there. I maybe pushing for an 8.
I think an 8. I think an 8 is fair.
I'm going to go for an 8. I thought, you know,
got a yellow card for Tom Weston.
Oh, well, 7.5 now then. No. I was a little bit annoyed about that bit of time wasting, but at the end of it, I thought he managed his game really, really well today, and I thought it was a solid performance for him.
Yeah, I think that when he catches dudes in high claims and sits on the ball and slows it down for us, I think it goes unnoticed how important that is for us. Let me go to our right back, Ben Whiteley.
Had a tough game. I thought like their 2 wide players were really, really good today, but he dug in there, held in there. 7 out of 10, solid performance from him, I think.
Yeah, he was. I'd agree with that. It was tough for him in the second half. You know, I mean, Garnacho was running at him, giving him problems. But for the most part of it, he dealt with it well. He weren't really helped out much by anyone else. He was sort of one-on-one a lot. But listen, apart from that time when Garnacho cut in and had that chance that he shanked, sort of hit wide, he kind of dealt with him all right. So, yeah, solid 7 for Ben White.
Let me go to the opposite flank for the left back, Tomiyasu, Robbie.
Thought he had a good game today, Tomiyasu. Absolutely solid. What do I give him? Because if I'm giving 7,
yeah, you got to go. You got a clean sheet.
I'm going to probably give him an 8. You know what I mean? The defence was good today. We relied on the defence a lot in this game, really. You know what I mean? It's almost like we got the goal and then said, right, going to kind of defend. So let me give a Tomiyasu an 8. I thought he had a good game today.
Do you remember that Sky pundit said when we signed Tomiyasu, he's not even a fullback? Do you remember that?
You know what? When he played in Italy, he played as a fullback, but he also played a lot of times as centre-back as well. Okay. He's a versatile player across the back, so, and he's showing it. He's playing on the left. He's more of a right back. So
such good
he's been very important in these type of games away from home. There was one time they hit a long ball, and he cut it out with his head and brought it down. It was brilliant, and I kept thinking to myself, had that, and this is not a criticism, but had that been Zinchenko, that's where he wouldn't have been as strong in that type of defensive position. So, do you agree with the 8?
I'm going for a 7, and I'll tell you why. I thought we had the easier of the 2 wide players, in my opinion. Like, you know, I thought Garnacho was a constant threat for us and all that. But I agree with Robbie. I think he mopped up everything really, really well, and it was a really. Listen, I think he's been fantastic.
7?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right, we'll go with a 7. But I thought he had a solid game.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah. He swayed the Don.
I swayed the Don. That's the first. Bloody hell, Walter's got to his head.
William Saliba, Lee judges.
8 out of 10 for me. There was a couple of little mistakes in there. I noticed, you know, a little pass into midfield. They didn't do, but when it mattered, Garnacho running it in one time in the box, had to make the tackle, made a great challenge. I thought solid as a rock. Listen, he's been an unbelievable player for us this season. Not missed a minute's football. And again, when it matters, in big games and in big places, and this was a tough place to come to today, he stands up.
Yeah, very lucky to keep him fit the whole season. He's such a good player, such an important player.
9 out of 10 for me. Oof. Man of the match, best player on the pitch. You know what I mean? You know, when we had to dig in, he was the guy. I thought he defended brilliantly. He was absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? And how this guy gets, you know, every Arsenal fan absolutely loves him because we see what he does every week in, week out. For some reason, you know what I mean? For all right, yeah. You know, so when they lose, you know what I mean? What was I saying? Yeah, look, you know what I mean? Sometimes the French managers doesn't give him the respect he's supposed to deserve. And the Premier League, when they're doing their team of the, you know, player of the season, why is Saliba not in there? but Van Dijk is. It's ridiculous. Like you said, he's played every minute. He's been mad consistent. He's been brilliant this season. And my man of the match, 9.
Deschamps doesn't give him his respect. You're right. I don't know why he doesn't, because he's been so good for us. Let's go to
Best
Gabriel.
centre-back in the league.
Best centre-back in the league.
Alongside Gabriel, who was again brilliant today as well. Solid. You know what I mean? Again, them two were solid as a rock. We had to do a lot of defending in that game. United, you know, it was very nervous for us as fans in there, but when you really clock it, there's a lot of huffing and puffing from United because those guys dealt with it so well and locked it down.
Gabriel.
All right, before we was just rudely interrupted, let's go into.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I think he said
gotta learn how to lose, man. What's wrong with you, man? We come here many years and lose. What was up with that guy?
he says, I hope City win it. I want City to win it. I said,
Yeah, and he's a United fan.
Crazy.
He was. He has looked like he's had about 100 drinks. You know what I mean?
So barely made up the hill.
listen,
Anyway, let's
it's all good.
It's all good. We're all right. Anyway, let's get into. We've got Gabriel. You said Gabriel. You said 8, right?
I did agree with him when he said "fuck you." No, I'm only joking.
You said 8 for Gabriel.
I hadn't said what, but I'm going to give him an 8. I think Saliba's slightly better, but listen, they're to partnership, man. Yeah. They are a brilliant partnership. He was outstanding as well. Yeah. Solid.
I think if you're giving Saliba a 9, so I'll bow to that for the Don. I'm then going to go for an 8 for Gabriel.
Yeah. Okay,
because I think, like, you know, that Højlund never got a kick.
Yeah.
Never
wow.
got a
Yeah.
kick.
Was Højlund playing?
I didn't know.
That's true. He didn't get a kick.
Yeah.
And I think he's decent. I've got to say that. I think he's potentially a very, very good player. Never
Holds
got
up
a
the
kick.
ball well. Holds up the ball well.
Yeah,
But
he never got kicked.
fair. All right. So let's go into midfield. Let's go to Thomas Partey, lead judges.
Oh, started off, give him a chance in the first couple of minutes, but then he steadied the ship.
Yes,
7 out of 10 for me. I didn't think he was spectacular, but had to do a job. It was a difficult in there for our midfield players because they played 3 sort of defensive midfield players and they stopped us playing and went man for man. But I thought he handled it really well, kept us ticking by and all that. And in the end of it, you know, 7 and a solid 7 for me.
Yeah. I don't know, I was going to give him a 6, but you kind of persuaded me. He was very sloppy to begin with, man.
Yeah, he was.
Very sloppy, got caught a couple of times, but like you said, later on, you know, when we had to dig in, and like I said, United did a lot of huffing and puffing, didn't they? So, yeah, 7. I agree with that.
So the Don again.
Yeah, I'm doing well, like, you know what I mean?
Let's go to Declan Rice, Robbie.
Yeah, I thought he was good today.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Again, didn't get to rampage forward as much as possible, but again, he helped with the control of the team. There were the vital tackles that we know he can do. Was able to drive forward when necessary.
Had a good shot as well. He
had a good shot and nearly scored.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah.
Thought he played well today.
No, 7 for me.
Okay.
7 for me, like, you know, solid. I thought all of them were solid in there, but without being spectacular. You know, so, but you know, I think like when you're giving 8s to Gabriel, I think it's a little bit, you know, like, but a 7's not a bad, you know, 7's not a disgrace from Mark, and but a solid 7 for me as well, really today.
Did our midfield struggle today?
No.
Attacking wise, they did, but defensively, they were all right. They were solid.
I agree with that. I think that it was in a difficult situation today, and you have to, you know, look at the context of the game. We're 1-0 up. You don't really want Thomas Partey, Declan Rice gunning forward and leaving us open at the back, and they nick one, and then it's 1-1 and all that.
Yeah.
So I think what we done is once we got the goal, we started off really well, by the way. Once we got the goal, we stayed in our shape and just done our jobs properly, and he was one of them that done that.
Martin Odegaard's rating, Lee.
Same, 7. I felt there was a couple of times a little bit sloppy in the first half, but again, work rate. A couple of times he left players for dead and all that, like, you know. But he kept things ticking away. Just kept feeling it was hard for him today because he was man for man. He had to go in different areas, and I felt that again, a workmanlike performance from him, like. And I think it would be harsh to give him a 6 because we wasn't as creative as we should have been. But I think that was because of the circumstances and the tactics.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It wasn't like his normal sort of swashbuckling performance. It was more workmanlike, but that was what was required today, kind of thing. So, yeah, I agree with that, 7.
7. Okay, let's go to our attackers. Starting with Bukayo Saka, Robbie.
Yeah, same. I mean, first part of the game, he was posing a threat. He was posing a threat throughout the game, but again, had to do a lot of working back, tracking back. Had to do, you know, probably a 7 as well. A solid 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we done today was we relinquished our attacking thing to keeping our shape and all that, like, you know. And I think defensively he done his job today. I think, like, if you look back at that game, he done a lot more defending and attacking. And don't forget then he's having to run 50, 60 yards. I thought he looked very, very tired at the end, and I know he got injured towards the end, but I would have took him off a little bit earlier just to freshen it up. But I don't think he done anything bad today, and he could 7 out of 10.
And by the way, they've got to fix that banking, because he went right down. That's a dangerous. That is the way.
And his steps.
Yeah, you come.
And then brick.
That is absolutely ridiculous for a team like Man United. You know, they've got a roof to fix. They've got that to fix now. You know what I mean? A lot of fixing, man.
Fix the team as well. Like.
And just on that, we hope Saka has a speedy recovery, because there was word that he was going to be, he might be 100% fully fit for the game,
dip,
and then that drop seemed quite dangerous. So listen, we wish you all the best. Let me go to the opposite wing, goal scorer Leandro Trossard.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8 just because that's another huge goal. He didn't really do a lot more than that goal, you know what I mean? But that's the goal. This keeps us in the hunt for the league, and he's done that so many times this season. And how many important goals has this guy scored? They were saying he's just only good off the bench. He's good off the bench. He's good when he starts. He's always there for those big chances. As they said, that song is so true. Trossard again.
Yeah.
Trossard again. You know?
Yeah, red hot form. He's hit red hot form. Robbie said 8. He went with Saliba for his man of the match.
Listen, he scored and he done fantastic well. So I suppose you have to give him. I thought he was quiet, if I'll be really honest. And the game probably didn't suit him, where you need to have that little burst of pace to go through and all that. But when you require, he's there. You know what I mean? There's people around us and going like, oh, this is a game for Martinelli, and probably it is, but then who comes up and scores a goal? And when it mattered, Kai Havertz with the run and the cross, who's in the end of it? It reminds me very much of Freddie Ljungberg. I don't know what people think, just nicks a few, not as quick as Freddie, if I'll be really honest, but the same sort of thing that gets these important goals and contributes whenever he plays. And
I always say he reminds me of Jota at Liverpool. The way he seems to be, not always starts, not always considered to be the main guy, but the most clinical of all the strikers. Excellent.
One chance goal.
What rating for Trossard?
8, because he scored the goal. Okay. It's a winner.
Robbie obviously gave Saliba man of the match. Who's your man of the match? Is it going to be the next person?
Saliba got it. I'd love to give it to King Kai, but I thought again today he worked really well. I isolated a lot today because of the circumstances, but had to battle it up against them. And people will look at it and go, oh, he's playing against them too today. I thought Johnny Evans played him well, by the way. I thought that, a lot of experience, and physically, I think Johnny Evans can handle that sort of stuff. But when it mattered, the one time that he got in, delivered the perfect pass. And for that, 7 out of 10 for me.
7 for Havertz?
Yes, 7. I mean, I was thinking of giving him an 8 as well, because again, such an important contribution for that goal.
Yeah.
Without his contribution, there's no goal. Actually, I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah.
Because again, he worked his socks off, and the contribution for the goal. I mean, he made that goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and again, another huge moment by a player that's been so good for us this season. So 8.
8. Okay. Now I'm going to rattle through some of the subs. Only 2 really had an effect on the game. The other 2 were quite. They came in the added minutes of the game. Standard 5s.
Was it Kivior and
Jorginho?
Jorginho. They barely even touched the ball.
Okay, Gabriel Martinelli.
Martinelli, I think he should have scored with one of them chances when he's through. He's had about 3 of those in the games he's come on, in it, where he's used his pace, he's through, and he's just, he tested the goalkeeper. I think he should have hit it before he hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so by the time he sort of steadied himself, he kind of hit it straight at the keeper. I think he made an impact when he came on. So I'm going to give him a 7 because he did make an impact, and he was that out ball,
Yeah, I think 7 as well. I think defensively done well. Always contributes defensively, which people don't appreciate. Yeah. And then, he's made the goalkeeper make a wonderful save. I probably should have done better when he seemed to get there and then lose it a little bit. But I thought he was lively, and
he was a threat when he come on.
He was a threat when he come on, and that's what you want. That was what you wanted from him. That was his job, to stretch him and threaten them, and he done that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Gabriel Jesus.
We didn't have a lot to do, but very difficult coming on in those circumstances. 10 minutes from the end, but listen, worked hard, put his body on the line a couple of times, chased back and all that. 6 out of 10. I don't really feel that he had a lot to do going forward and all. It wasn't that game. Once you 1-0 up, 10 minutes to go, dig in and do the job. He see that out, so you've got to compliment him for that.
100% a 6. Came on, like Lee said, it's your job's to come on and not to necessarily score a goal, but to see the game out and to look after the ball, and he did all right. So,
Okay, 6.
good player to bring off the bench, isn't it?
Facts,
You know what I mean?
facts.
That shows you the strength of our squad. So, yeah.
6 out of 10. Now, our referee today, Paul Tierney, Robbie.
Listen, it weren't bad. But there were times when, he allowed certain things for United which he didn't allow for us. But I give him a 6.
Yeah, I didn't think he was as bad as a 6. If I be really honest, I felt that I'm doing well today, aren't I?
Yeah, it's just changed Robbie's mind.
Always ask for referees, that's why, 7.
Robbie wants to change the 7.
I felt at the end of the day that there was a couple of times he was fair to us and fair to them. I didn't think he was great, but I don't think he was like one-sided. And at the end of it, I thought he done okay. If I'll be really honest,
Just okay.
Just okay.
7, yeah?
7 out of 10.
Perfect. Let's go to Lee. You're going to give the manager rating today. Mikel Arteta. We're coming to the last match week, match week 38. What do you give Mikel Arteta for today, beating Man United at Old Trafford?
I would love to give him a 10 out of 10 if he was like 3 or 4-0 today.
Yeah, same.
But you can't give him less than a 9 out of 10 for me today. It's a clean sheet. Tactically, old Tiniagi changed it around a little bit, and that's a compliment to us. That they've come at home, put all very, very defensive players in and all that, which I don't think Mikel probably contemplated that, but he got the job done. I thought we looked very, very composed in set pieces and things like that. And you see the game out, you come away under all this pressure, and there was pressure on us today. You get the result, big up.
Yep, I agree with that. We've only lost 2 games away from home this season.
Is that serious? Is that wrong?
Yeah, Villa and that robbery up at Newcastle.
Oh yeah.
Right, so
that feels so long ago.
And even when we do lose those games, we're not losing by much. He's really transformed us away from home. And yeah, listen, the pressure on us today. Basically, we drew the game. You see it, innit? It would be all finished, it'd be done. And we've come another tough game in our running to go away to Man United, and he's got the 3 points in a place where traditionally we don't. So 9.
Does he have to pick up silverware next season? Because we challenged last season. This season we literally went to the last week.
Let's wait till next season, man. Let's see what he does this season first. Ain't over.
Oh yeah, okay.
Listen, I said it on my fan cam and I say it now. I'm proud to be an Arsenal fan at this moment in time. I'm back in love with my football club, and that is down to this manager and the players that he's brought in and everything that he's done with it. Now, when he first come in, I didn't think he was up to the job and wanted him replaced. Proved me wrong. Thank you very much that he's proved me wrong, and all that's gone with it. But listen, if a miracle happens and we win it, I'll cry next week. I know I will, and
You and me both.
For what he's done, I can come up here, Old Trafford, feeling and knowing that we're going to win today. That's what he's done. I don't want to hear about trophies at this moment in time. They will come.
Okay, to end then.
Build the field. They will come.
The fans today.
Listen. Last game of the season saved the best to last. The fans this season. This is our last away trip. They saved the best to last. I thought we was magnificent.
Unbelievable.
Really?
Unbelievable atmosphere.
Rocking.
It was rocking from the first minute it was in there, and we stayed half hour later because of the rain and all that. But I tell you what, I loved every minute of it. What a fantastic away set, and what a way to leave it on the away end. I can't wait till the next away game now. That was sensational today, and a big up to the Arsenal fans. 11 out of 10 today.
11 out of 10, absolutely brilliant. The atmosphere from half an hour before the kickoff was amazing. Those fans got behind the team, stayed behind the team. Like Lee said, half an hour after the game, I know it was raining outside, but the place was still packed, still singing. The rest of the stadium was empty. They had to beg the fans to leave. It was brilliant. That just capped it off to me today. That was marvellous today from the fans. And we win it for them, man. I can't believe it's the last away game. Until he just said that.
Nor can I. Yeah.
Until he just said that.
Same.
Last away game of the season. Away on the road this season with Arsenal been absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
Teams played brilliant. The fans have been brilliant. And like Lee said, that has capped it off today. 10 out of 10.
People, that is it for player ratings for the away games this season. Like Lee mentioned, I didn't realise either until he said it. But thank you to you all as well, watchers and subscribers and commenters, and everyone's got involved. Thank you so much. It's been amazing, amazing season, regardless of if we lift a trophy or not. The away games and the away games have been so amazing. Thank you to you. Thank you as well to you. I should say thank you to Julian as well. Thank you.
And also to Joe.
To Joe as well. Big up everyone behind the camera as well.
Big up Brian, you know what I mean? You know, right, he's really... you know what, that is facts, we've got to big him up here. Like, he's been up here all weekend working really, really hard, and also today he wasn't able to get into the game, we couldn't get him a ticket to get in, and he was outside, he got absolutely drenched because it was torrential rain, and he's still there doing his work and everything like that.
I will say though, Brian should have brought an umbrella. That was all I'm saying.
All right, people, we're going to leave it there. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you again next week for the final game of the season. Take care. Peace.